Hi there folks, welcome to RRTV's live telecast of tonight's race of the Star Mazda Australian Championship. We're here for round 8 tonight at Circuit Gilles Villeneuve, and I'd like to, before we get into it, thank our sponsors, G&T Racing and Monster Racing, as well as QuickBed. So if you do any bookings, use the code 1564 at the QuickBed site, and that some of that money will come back to this great series. So I'd like to introduce Chris Bean. Welcome back to the commentary box tonight, Chris.
Thanks, Bernie. Thanks for having me back.
Yeah, it's going to be an interesting night here. We broadcast last Sunday night from here for the GT3s, and that was action-packed, so I'd be expecting the same from the Star Mazdas tonight.
Yeah, no, should be a good night. Yeah, it's a very tight, twisty track, and got a couple of long straights there too. So, should be really good, really exciting to watch.
Yeah, definitely will be. So, folks, the track length tonight's 4.36 kilometres. Race distance tonight will be 23 laps with a mandatory pit stop. Fuel is they'll have to take fuel. Tyres optional. Incident limit tonight is 20, so we'll keep an eye on that. Fast repairs is 1. So looking at the weather out there, it's clear. Air temp's 24, but the track temps are sizzling 39 degrees Celsius, so it's scorching out there. And winds are coming from the west at 13 kilometres an hour. So we'll just come to live pictures now. We've got 42 seconds before they grid up. So let's take you through our grid for tonight. So we've got in... One moment. I'll take you through the grid once. I'm having overlay problems again. Chris, save me, mate.
Unfortunately, I don't have it either.
That's all right. We'll wait until they grid up, and then I'll take you through that that grid tonight, folks. So I'm just having a look. How many? We have 22 in here tonight, Chris. So it's going to be a full field.
Yes, we've got 2 splits tonight, and so we've got two fields of around 22 drivers each.
Okay, that's fantastic. So a total of 44 across the 2 splits. So that's another great turnout.
Yeah, it's growing from week to week. It's good to see.
So we're just waiting for the drivers to grid up, folks. As we can see here, let's bring up our grid and hope it's right. So we've got Michael Schreier will be starting from pole tonight, followed by Rivera in second, Keane third, Kugeley fourth, fifth will be Rogers, sixth Jason Black, Thomas from 7th, Jellings 8th, Pegler, then Francis in 10th. Josh Anderson out of 11th, Nowak 12th, Gelly, followed by Gaines in 14th. Ashley Thomas will start out of 15th. Okay, so we've got the green flag, folks, so the race is underway. Bit rushed tonight, but at least we made it to the start tonight, Chris. And we've had a huge accident right at the start there. Not sure who that was in the background there flipping.
There was someone in the background there. I'm not sure if someone didn't get off the line or not, but it hasn't affected too much of the field, which is good to see.
Yeah, that's right, and I'm just waiting for my overlays to settle down so I can start telling you who's out front at the moment. We've got Christine Rogers, Josh Rogers back there in 5th, but Michael Schreier's leading the way. Well, he's actually fallen back to 2nd now, Chris.
Yeah, Marcelo Rivera has actually taken the lead for this first lap. He's taken it off Michael Schreier there. And closely behind is James Keane, and he's going to be keen to keep with his teammate.
Yeah, so we've got Marcelo Rivera out in front, followed by Michael Schreier in 2nd, James Keane 3rd, trying to get past Michael here. It looks like we've got Lewis Kugeley back in 4th at the moment, followed by Jason Black back there in 6th. I'll tell you what, Chris, we've got a lot of VRA drivers out there again tonight.
Yeah, it's looking good. You've got a good field there. You've got 3 Evolution Racing guys all in the top 6, so good to see.
Certainly is. We're just having a look here as Michael dives to the inside here to break that slipstream, and he's coming back now to resume the racing line as they go through the final chicane to complete the first lap, and we'll have another 22 to go after this. It looks like we might have had someone having a bit of a slowdown back there as well, which is easy to do through that chicane.
Yeah, the penalties on this track, we all know, are very, very raw, very, very real. You can't take too much of a curb, but you don't want to be taking the curb in these cars anyway around this track. It's the curbs are really hurt the car's stability around there, and the last thing you want to do is hit a curb and shoot straight off into the fence. So penalty or not, you don't want to be on that curb.
Yeah, and I guess the Star Mazda is a bit like the GT3 in that respect. Last Sunday we saw a lot of GT3s getting in trouble after riding the curb, so it sounds like the Star Mazda is as stiffly sprung as those cars. Yeah,
that's right. I mean, if you keep it on the black stuff in the middle, it should be okay.
Yeah, that's right. The other thing to keep an eye out here, folks, is as we'll go around here with Andrew Gaines, and you can see how tight it is and how lack of a runoff they have. So we can expect possibly a few cars into the wall if they mess it up a little bit here tonight, Chris.
Yeah, I don't want to see any crashes, but it'll be spectacular to watch if there is.
Yeah, well, the beauty of this track is it's pretty much like a street circuit, isn't it, as far as the track layout goes?
Yeah, I suppose it is. I'm not too familiar with the track's history or anything like that. So, I like the track. I've raced on it a couple of times in the sim, and it's probably one of my favourite tracks. I love it.
Oh yeah, it's a fantastic track. I don't think it's an actual real road circuit as such. I think it's a dedicated track, but it has a lot of road racing characteristics to it.
It's built like on the bank of a lake or a river or something, isn't it? Is that why the track's so long in one aspect?
Yeah, pretty much. If we have a look at the we'll just jump out to the blimp view, and you can actually see there's a river going down to the right, and there's a river going down to the left as well, and I think they've got a lake in the middle. That's why I think it's long and thin.
There you go. For someone who didn't know much about the track, I'd know a little bit.
Yeah, it's quite an interesting shape really, but I think it must go out on a bit of an island here. But we'll jump down to having a look at our leaders, and you can see now, folks, that river on the left as they come flying down here onto the main straight. Marcelo Rivera still in the lead, followed closely by Michael Schreier there, and James Keane third, followed by Lewis Kugeley.
Coming down that back straight there, Michael Schreier actually had a little run on Marcelo, and Marcelo covered him off and basically forced Michael to pull back a little bit, and what it did was let James run right up the up his gearbox there. Sort of was able to catch up a lot of space. So it's all well and good to have a bit of draft, but you need to cover yourself by that car behind as well.
Yeah, and the interesting thing at the moment is Rogers has set the fastest lap with a 1:37.458, and Rogers is currently sitting back there in 5th position.
Yeah, Rogers and Jason Black have been trading places for the last couple of laps already, so they're probably just feeding a little bit of draft off each other, but they are falling a little bit behind the top 4 runners at the moment. So as long as they keep battling, they probably won't help themselves for the race overall.
Yeah, and I tell you what, the top 4 here, between Rivera, Schreier, Keane and Kugeley, they're all looking very racy here, as James Keane's now starting to fall back into the clutches of Kugeley, but Rivera's got his mirrors full here with Schreier at the moment.
Yeah, you can see Marcelo's really offensively covering that inside line there, and he doesn't want to let Michael past at all.
Yeah, that's for sure. And as we can see now, Michael's starting to get in this tow, but he's going to be forced to go around the outside here, and I don't think that's... it might... Oh, can he? No, there's no way he can hold on to that, but James Keen's now looking like he's going to challenge for that second spot here.
Yeah, Michael will have the inside line here, but yeah, Michael might be able to take that. Yeah, it looks like he... Oh, James has come back and he's forced Michael wide.
Yeah, and it looks like Lewis is going to have a go at Michael here as well as they go side by side into the chicane here. Let's see if Michael can hold on.
Gee, this is great racing, and it looks like Rogers is right in the mix of it too. You might even take both of these guys.
Yeah, Rogers got a fantastic drive through the chicane there, and it's almost 3 wide here as we come into the back chicane down here, and Rogers has got a position on Kugeley here, and his next victim will be Schreier.
So this has released the Evolution guys out in 1 and 2 now, so yeah, Michael Schreier won't let these guys go. He's still going to get a little bit of draft, but he's got a pack of another 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 cars behind him, so one little mistake and you'll be all the way back in probably about 8th position.
Yeah, that's right, and that's the last thing you'll want at the moment. It's good for the ERA guys here. Marcelo's got his rear gunner there, James Keen, 1-2, as I thought they were about to dive in the pits then.
And just on that, it looks like Jason Black's just taken that position back off Lewis, and now Lewis is under pressure from David Jellings, who has the inside line coming into turn 1.
Yeah, Lewis is absolutely getting mugged out there. He's all the way down to 7th position at the moment, and he's under a lot of threat by, who's that that's after him now, David, so he's struggling a bit out there tonight.
Yeah, I've always found the track a very rhythm track as well. Once you get out of your groove, out of your rhythm, it's very difficult to sort of sit, ease yourself back into it. And when you've got other drivers that are just waiting to pounce, it's the worst feeling you can have being a driver is just you're almost like a sitting duck sometimes.
Yeah, that's for sure. And this track, if you don't get that rhythm going, as you said, you are pretty much a sitting duck out there. I'm just wondering if these hot temperatures would be affecting the tyres or the handling of these cars.
Yeah, not sure. I haven't turned a lap in this on this track this week with these weather settings, so obviously the drivers out there are going to be experiencing that, and we can only speculate, really.
Well, that's exactly right. That's all we can really do from here in our nice air-conditioned office, I guess you could say. But having a look out the back here as Kugeley comes down the back straight, he got a very good launch out of that corner, and that's given him a bit of breathing room.
So Michael Schreier's just on the back of James Keen there, and looks like he's going to be on the back of Marcelo, is it? Oh no, sorry, James Keen there. Yeah, so these three should, hopefully, well, not hopefully, but hopefully they'll, get a good rhythm and pull away. But you got Rogers there just behind him as well. We might get a little bit of draft. So it's looking further back in that Jason Black. He's currently in 5th. Lewis Kugeley is in 6th. Josh Anderson, we haven't really mentioned Josh at all. He's sitting there in 7th, which is not too bad. And David Jellings in 8th. Andrew Gaines in 9th. And rounding out the top 10 is Ashley Thomas.
That's right, and Ashley's currently 11 seconds down from the leader. Marcelo Rivera out front here. Also, Michael Schreier just set the fastest lap of a 1:37.268 last lap around.
Gee, that's quick, mate.
Yeah, it certainly is. It goes to show, how hard these guys are pushing as James now gets a good run out there, but I'm not sure if they'll have team orders here or if they're going to let Rivera and Keen fight this out.
I think those two drivers need to understand that Michael Schreier is on their gearbox, and you don't want to really let Michael take advantage of both of them having an accident or battling each other. One ERA guy should be setting the pace, the other guy should be defending that spot. So hopefully they can pull it off, but it might come down to the pit stops on this track here, and how quick or how long these guys are stopping for, how much fuel they're putting in, just to maybe try and gap Michael Schreier a little bit. So they will probably work together, and we'll just have to see how the pit stops play out. We're on lap 8 now of how many laps are we doing? 23 laps, so probably expect the guys to come in anytime in the next couple of laps.
Yeah, I'd be expecting them to come in soon, but one thing these guys can't do is underestimate Michael Schreier or Rogers for that matter. If these guys blink, Schreier and Rogers is going to be all over them in a heartbeat.
Yep, totally agree. And not only that, but you've also got Jason Black, the third ERA driver in this field, sitting behind them as well. So ERA really probably want to push for even a block out the podium. That would be great, wouldn't it?
That'd be fantastic, and no doubt Jason's trying to get his ERA Star Mazda up there, because if he can start putting the pressure on Rogers and Schreier, he's going to allow his teammates to get a gap out here.
Just something to point out, you're mentioning the fastest lap 4. I just want to point out Lewis Kugeley. That lap that he had 1 or 2 laps ago, where he was getting basically manhandled by everyone else around him, he actually lost 3 seconds on that last lap, and that's all it took to put him all the way down in now 6th position. He was basically fighting for one of the first 3 places there, and he's finding himself now behind Jason Black, and a further probably about 3, 4, 5 seconds behind the leaders now. So it just shows that you need to keep that rhythm up, keep in the draft, and it's the only way to really win this race.
It definitely is, and we can see now Schreier's having a look on the inside of Keane here. He's starting a challenge. We'll see if he can get an undercut here for the next chicane and try to get this move made.
Yeah, you saw Keane run a little wide there, trying to defend that position, and look at the gap that he's left Marcelo. So that's what I mean. You got to keep it nice and tight, nice and clean. Oh, they've had contact, Bernie.
Yeah, they certainly have. Keane and Schreier locked wheels there, exiting, but that's going to really hurt Michael here. We'll jump on board to see if he's got any sort of damage to that car. Having a look from the gyro cam here, it looks like his steering's pretty straight, so he might have got away with that.
Well, if they've both got away with that, that's pretty damn lucky, because it's easy to stuff these cars up pretty much.
Certainly is, and James Keane's also got straight steering, and he continues around. So, yep, sorry.
Yeah, no, I'm just going to say Michael's coming to the pit, so he's going to try and get a fast repair and fix any potential damage, and just get out of that battle that he was possibly going to be in.
Yeah, it'll be interesting to see how or where he comes out in the field here, and if he can get some clear. He's actually missed his. No, he's coming in his pits now. I was going to say, if he actually can get some clear air here, it may not be too bad for Michael, but this is probably could affect this race outcome for him.
Is he one of the first stoppers?
No, we've actually had quite a few stop. We've had Schreier come in, Nowak's just came in, Thomas, Francis, Jones, Josh Burden, Pegler, Brett Wilson and Wayne Taylor. So mainly down the back end they've all pitted at this stage.
Yeah, alright, we'll need to keep our eyes on that battle up ahead. I think Marcelo will probably just do some lap times, just qualifying lap after lap, and James needs to also do the same, just to try and feed a little bit of draft off him and gap a little bit back to Josh Rogers.
Yeah, that's what they need to do. And having a look at the front of Keane's car, he does have front wing damage, so that's going to affect him a little bit, but he's still holding his own out there with Rogers in third at the moment, followed by Jason Black in fourth. Kugel's now up to fifth position, but is 4.2 seconds down from our leader Marcelo Rivera.
I think if James doesn't look like he's off pace at all, it looks like his car's still steering straight and acting straight. So if he can feed a little bit of draft back off his teammate, it's not going to actually affect him too much. As long as Marcelo is lapping really good, James will just be able to help himself out with a little bit of draft, and that shouldn't hurt his race chances. And I would probably expect him to continue on being in that second or third position after the pit stops come in.
Yeah, he's looking pretty strong out there, and the other one that's looking quite strong is Josh Anderson. He's just set the fastest lap of 1:37.068, and he's right on the back bumper now of Lewis Kugler here.
Yeah, we've known him to be a really quick driver in previous races, and he's definitely going to be challenging these guys. He's already on the back of Lewis Kugler, and he's only got Jason Black ahead of him, so he's in contention here. He's definitely got a possibility of winning this.
Yeah, definitely. He's looking really racy out there as we're jumping on board with him now as we come down the back straight here. The interesting thing was Kugler seemed to get a better drive off the corners than Josh, but I just want to see how he goes under brakes as he closes right up on the back there of Lewis. So he's good under brakes. He just seems to be suffering a little bit pulling out of those corners.
Interesting move here. While we were talking about that, Marcelo's actually jumped into the pits trying to get that stop out the way, and that's left James out in front and Rogers right behind him. So I'd like to keep an eye on Marcelo here and just see where Michael Schreier is going to come out.
Yeah, Michael's now coming down on into the last chicane, entering the front straight here, and where's Marcelo? Marcelo's sitting in the pits at the moment still. He's coming out now. This is going to be really close as Michael's now coming down to the chicane here. Marcelo's just in front. Marcelo's out, and he's probably got, 5 car lengths?
Oh, I'd probably say more like 4 seconds there. He's probably got about 20 car lengths. That's really hurt Michael.
It certainly has, and it'll be interesting. We should expect James and Rogers and even Black to slot in ahead of Schreier after these pit stops.
Yeah, I'd probably expect Schreier to even be behind Josh Anderson. It's really going to hurt him. I think he's going to be all the way back down in around 7th, 8th position.
Yeah, well, only time will tell. Only the top 7 are left to stop at the moment, folks. So we've got Keane out front, followed by Black. Rogers in third now. Kugler 4th. 5th, Josh Anderson. As Keane comes in now, and it looks like Rogers is also coming in, and Josh Anderson. So they're all coming in now. Yes,
and Jason Black as well. So really nice tight group of front-running cars have all joined the pits at the same time. So who have we got in the front there? We had James come in first, followed by, I think it was Jason Black actually got Josh Rogers there coming down the back straight, and Josh Anderson. So I have to see how these guys, how their stops go and where they come out in relation to Michael Schreier.
Yeah, well, the Marcelo and Schreier's now on the main straight, coming into the final chicane here. Looking back, none of them have come out yet, so here they come now. Schreier, where's he going to come? Right in behind Keane by the looks of it.
That's not bad. Obviously, everyone's done a pretty standard pit stop. It looks like Marcelo is actually the one that's won the best out of all those pit stops. Do we have times on the pit stops at all?
Yeah, we do. Marcelo did a 13.8, Keane did a 13.3, Schreier did an 11.4, Rogers did a 13.2, and Anderson did a 13.
Okay, so pit stops, pretty all on par. Marcelo must have just had a really good in-lap and an out-lap there to pull such a gap on these guys.
Yeah, and I think that 2 seconds Michael gained in that pits has actually helped him here. I'm just trying to work out He's currently sitting in 5th, but we've still got Lewis Kugley and David Jellings to stop at the moment, as it looks like they're coming into the pits now.
I wonder if Michael Schreier's done his fuel stop right, because 11 seconds, he might be running on fumes at the end of this.
Yeah, well, that's right, and we have seen that backfire in the Skip Barber's race of the Australian-New Zealand Championship. One of the drivers short-filled and actually ran out of petrol with 2 laps to go.
Yeah, there was a few drivers that spluttered over the line. I think I even took a position off someone there.
Yeah. So at the moment, folks, we've got Marcelo Rivera out in front, followed by his teammate James Keane second, followed closely by Michael Schreier here, who's really, we must say, has gotten out of jail. We thought he might have been further down. Lewis Kugel's currently sitting in 4th, followed by Josh Rogers in 5th place.
Well, that's spread the field a bit, hasn't it, Bernie?
It certainly has. We've got a couple of battle packs here now, and it looks like Rogers is starting to work on the back of Kugeley here.
Has Lewis Kugley been a regular driver in the series? I haven't seen the name before, but I haven't been on the broadcasts as of late either.
I'm not sure if he's been regular, but I know he's definitely very strong in the SEK for the GT3s, and he's definitely holding his own out there tonight.
Oh, you can definitely see he's got pace there, so it's good to see. Another newcomer of Josh Rogers as well, so it's good to see some fresh faces in the series as well.
Oh, it certainly is, and Lewis drives for Blackadder Motorsport here, Blackadder Racing, so I think they have been regulars. They're just carrying a new livery tonight, which is their new sponsor. Oh, we just had someone hit the fence back there. Who was that? I think that was Rogers.
Oh, sorry, I had my eyes on this battle between Michael Schreier and James Keane, because Schreier's actually taken Keane for that second spot.
Yeah, we'll just jump back and have a look at that replay if we can of Michael making that move. So you can see, it was a good move too, right into the chicane there. And he made that look pretty easy, didn't he?
Yes, he did, and just having a look at Rogers' car, it looks like it's turning right a little bit, so you might have been right there. He might have just nudged the wall and may have bent a little bit of steering, but it doesn't look like it's affecting too much pace.
Yeah, he's got left hand down a bit, but he did clobber that wall, the Wall of Heroes, I think they call it, a Wall of Champions. He did clobber that pretty hard. So at the moment, Marcelo Rivera's got a great lead here of 3.5 seconds over Michael Schreier, and we'll see now that Schreier's got a nice, clean new car if he can start pulling Marcelo in. James Keane, 2/10 down, closing in under brakes. In 3rd, Lewis Kugeley currently in 4th, got a gap over Josh Rogers, who's now coming into the pits to fix that car damage, and that's going to allow Josh Anderson to come up into 5th position at the moment.
It's a good result from Josh Anderson, I think, if he can keep this up.
Yeah, it certainly is. He's looking really strong out there tonight in the Sim Racer Star Mazda, that's for sure.
Yeah, that's right, and I don't know if I want to say I'm disappointed, but there's a couple of other drivers which I was probably expecting a bit more out of, namely Josh Burden and Darren Vouch as well. They're names that have been synonymous with podiums and top running, especially in the last season. So there's a couple of big fallen names there.
Yeah, Josh is struggling at the moment, back in 13th position, but we're just having a look at this great battle between Josh Nowick, David Jellings, Dylan Francis here. Even Trent Thomas is back here in 9th at the moment and struggling a bit.
what's happened with Jason Black? He was running in 5th position there before those pit stops, and he's finding himself now behind Trent Thomas there for 10th place.
I think Jason had a pit strategy problem there. His pit stop was at 21.2, so I think his pit crew probably threw some tyres on that car.
I'm sure they won't make that mistake next week.
Yeah, that's right. And we've seen it a few times throughout the season that pit crews make a mistake, but they certainly learn from that. But having a look now at the moment, we've got a great battle here brewing between Novak, Francis and Jellings.
Yeah, and Trent Thomas and Jason are licking their lips as well, because they want to be part of it as well.
Yeah, definitely, and I'm just having a look. It looks like Trent's run wide there, and he's probably had a cut track or something, but that's hurt him. He's all of a sudden slowed right down.
I think he got spooked a little bit by the car in front. I think he's actually skidded on and understeered into that corner, so that's hurt him, and now he's going to be under pressure from his teammate Andy Gaines as well, and Craig Jones behind him. So we've got 3 G&T racing cars all holding up, 10th, 11th and 12th place.
Yeah, and there he goes again. He's cut the field again. He's going to get another cut track for that, no doubt. But that's releasing his teammate. So Trent Thomas in a bit of trouble out there tonight.
I told him to give up the seat and come in the commentary channel too. So, we've got Josh Rogers. What's happened with him? He's looks like he's left the server. So maybe he had too much damage on that car. I'm not too sure, Bernie.
Yeah, we've got him down as a retirement. I'm not exactly sure what it is. I'll have a look at the replays in a moment. The other one is Simone Gelli has retired from the race. I think Simone was involved in that incident. We've also got someone in the wall up here. I just heard the banging. I'm just not sure who that is. It's an ERA car into the Wall of Champions hard.
It's Jason Black. I'm not too sure what's happened. Do we have a replay on that?
No, we don't, unfortunately. I'll see if I can bring it up.
It was actually an incident with 4 cars, Bernie. That battle pack there between Jason Black, David Jellings, Josh Nowak and Dylan Francis. And what's happened is Dylan's taken Nowak on the inside of that final turn coming into the Wall of Champions, and I think Nowak's given him a little love tap on the rear wheel and spun Dylan, and David Jellings and Jason Black have had nowhere to go but through him, and I think that's hurt Jason's car.
Certainly has. He had absolutely nowhere to go there. As you were saying that, we did bring the replay up, and poor Jason was a victim there, had nowhere to go, and he just had to go on the side of the car in front of him. So we're coming back to live pictures now, folks. At the moment, we've got Marcelo Rivera out in front. He's got a 4-second lead over Michael Schreier. Comparing the times of these two, Marcelo's in the 1:37s, and he's 5/10 slower than Schreier, but James Keane doing a great job here, pouring the pressure on Schreier, and no doubt slowing him down there because Schreier's going to have to defend. Looking further back, we've got Lewis Kugeley sitting in 4th, and he's got a 3-second gap now over Josh Anderson in 5th position. And that,
No, sorry, mate.
That's alright. I was going to say that incident has really hurt Jason Black. He's dropped all the way down to 13th position at the moment, as he's now fighting David Pegler.
I hate seeing a driver getting, someone else's race sort of ruining theirs, but that is racing, after all. But what it has done is it's brought 3 cars together in David Pegler, Jason Black and even Darryl Ridley we're all going to be having a battle to the end there, and we've still got another 4 laps to go.
Yeah, that's right. And Jason's just taken David, and David got it mugged a bit there by Darrell as well, and had to take to the infield through that chicane. So that puts David Pegler back into 14th position now.
It doesn't appear that Jason Black has any damage to that car, which is good. It looks like he just got held up on the track, had nowhere to go. So he can maybe... who's he got to go in front of him? He's got Ashley Thomas and Josh Burden. Gee, it's a pretty big ask to try and catch those guys. But it's still good to see the tyres are turning on his car.
Yeah, that's right. And the guy that did go really hard into that wall was Dylan Francis, who's now unfortunately retired from that race. But you're right, Jason did manage to pull it up. I don't think he even made contact with the wall or with Dylan Francis, so that was good driving there by Jason.
Yes, and you do have to finish the race, I believe, to get championship points as well. So that's going to hurt Dylan's championship points, definitely. Just as we talking about that, we've got James Keane and Michael Schreier really battling for this second spot on the podium. Looks like James has got around Schreier again.
Yeah, we'll have a look at that overtaking move now. But yeah, that's going to really help Marcelo to have James there. As we can see them coming into the hairpin, James is going to the outside here, Schreier on the inside. He's actually driven, pretty much right around the outside of Michael Schreier there on entry into that hairpin.
They're all good drivers, they can all do it.
Oh, definitely, and it shows, the talent out there, because to outbrake Michael Schreier, it really shows the talent of James Keane and Marcelo Rivera out there, who's now got a 4.7 second lead.
Yeah, Marcelo's really driven the wheels off that car. He's kept his nose clean and then put in good lap after lap, and it's all coming together for him.
Well, it certainly is. With 3 laps to go, folks, Marcelo Rivera here for Evolution Racing Australia. He's got a 4.7 second gap now over his teammate James Keane, who's closely followed by Michael Schreier here in the, I think it's the Osram Star Mazda there. Lewis Kugel's only 3 seconds down the track from them now for Blackadder Motorsport, so he's doing a great job in 4th, and Josh Anderson in the sim race Star Mazda finds himself sitting in 5th quite comfortably now.
Well, Lewis on that last lap was only a 10th slower than our race leader Marcelo, and he was about a second faster than Michael Schreier and James Keane, because they're battling. So for as long as James and Michael might have a couple of blows and stuff like that here, Lewis is only going to be gaining a bit of time, and if he gets in the draft, he might have a chance on the last lap here.
Yeah, well, he's not that far behind, and we're going to jump on board with Michael Schreier in 4th now, folks, and do a lap around Montreal here, so crank up the sound and enjoy the ride. Tell you what, Chris, having a look at how close Michael goes to those walls on exit, he doesn't leave much room there, does he? So folks, that was a lap around Montreal with Michael Schreier. It was quite interesting there, Chris. He got the draft, but he couldn't do anything with it as we come into the last lap here. So Marcelo Rivera, our race leader at the moment, out in front. We'll jump to him shortly, but James Keane is defending pretty heavily against Michael Schreier for that second position at the moment.
Where would you rather be, Bernie? Would you rather be in James Keane's car or Michael Schreier's car?
If I had a choice, I'd rather be behind at the moment. But saying that, Michael got the draft, but he couldn't do anything about it because James is defending so well.
Yes, I agree. I'd want to be in Michael's shoes as well. I think coming into that last lap, there's more pressure on James to defend that position than there is for Michael to try and gain it. So James is doing a good job defending. He's got to be careful that he doesn't block. That's the big thing.
Yeah, that's right. He's got to watch that. But as they come down now onto the back straight here, we'll see how James gets the exit here. Michael's got a great exit. We'll see if he can do anything down here at the hairpin, or at the chicane, sorry.
I think he's too far back, Bernie.
Yeah, having a look at the overview, you're right. I think he's, 4 cars behind, closing in. Yeah, he's not going to do it at this stage. But the win tonight, folks, goes to Marcelo Rivera here in first, followed by his teammate James Keane second, Michael Schreier third. Lewis Kugeley comes in fourth, followed by Josh Anderson in fifth position. Then further down in sixth, we've got Dave Jellings coming across the line now, followed by Andrew Gaines and Trent Thomas in eighth. Ninth, Craig Jones, and rounding out our top 10 is Josh Burden. So Jason did manage to recover a little bit. He came back in 11th position tonight, Chris.
Yeah, it's not a bad recovery drive, but we've got to remember he was pushing for somewhere around 4th, 5th position, so did hurt him, but at least he's finished the race and kept it in one piece.
Yeah, that's right, and I'll just give a shout out to my race colleague out there for Redback Racing, Brett Wilson, came home in 16th, so that's good for him getting into the top split tonight.
Yeah, definitely. Showing some pace out there. He's only 1 second off Marcelo's qualifying time in terms of his own qualifying. So good to see these guys are starting to get a bit quicker, and yeah, it looks good.
And we're just watching now as Darren Vouch comes across the line to finish in 17th for Mad Cow Racing. So I'll take the viewers through our full finishing positions now, and then hopefully we'll have some guys jump up for an interview. Okay folks, so Marcelo Rivera takes out round 8 of the Star Mazda Australian Championship top split at Montreal, followed by his teammate James Keane in second, Michael Schreier third, Kugeley finished 4th, Anderson 5th, Jellings 6th, Andrew Gaines 7th, 8th Trent Thomas, 9th Craig Jones, Josh Burden rounds out our top 10. In 11th, Jason Black, David Pegler 12th, Latham 13th, Taylor 14th, 15th was Nowak, followed by Wilson and Vouch, 18th was Thomas, followed by Ridley, and 20th was Dylan Francis, who retired after that incident 4 laps ago. And it looks like Christine Rogers may have also retired, Josh Rogers. I'm going to keep on calling you Christine, mate, until you change your name. And Simone Galley retired, unfortunately, on the first lap. So it looks like we've got our race control up here. So we might bring him up and have a bit of a chat before the drivers.
Yep, sure.
Hi Scott, welcome to RRTV commentary box. How did the race look from race control's point of view tonight?
Oh, it's very good. was very clean once again. I think we're setting the trend from Ozback. Two awesome, really good racing, clean racing. I think we had about. I think there was an incident at the start line, but that was like I can't really enforce that. They both ended both races. I don't think they both went out. Then there was another 2 racing incidents, and that was it. Other than that, it was a super clean race, and it was really enjoyable to be race control.
Fantastic. And we saw in the background there that incident. We just didn't find out who was involved in that. I think Simone Galli might have been, because it looks like she retired pretty much straight away.
Yes, I cannot remember who.
I went back and reviewed it myself actually, and it was Simone and Darren Vouch.
Yeah, that was it.
Simone looks like she didn't get off the line, and Darren had nowhere to go but right up the gearbox and flipped them both. So unfortunately, it ended both of their races really.
Yeah, I'm just bringing that up now for the viewers here. So the other one was David, was it? So I'll try and bring it up from his point of view, just so the viewers can see what happened there.
It was Darren Vouch.
Okay, so we're just getting the start now, folks, and we'll have a look at this incident in a bit more detail here. But all in all, it's quite a... Here we go. So... Oh yeah, we can see there Simone didn't get off the line, and Darren hits hard, flips both of them. Quite spectacular there in slow-mo, but that's not what we want to see, I guess. But bad luck for both of those drivers.
I think Simone was trying to do one of Chris's starts like he did last week.
I'm going to bring it up.
Yeah.
It's a very similar incident, except no one was behind Chris to take him out.
No, well, you see, just in case anyone's wondering, because there was no broadcast last week, I decided to join the bottom split, and just from last place. And what happened was I kind of forgot to put it in gear, and I gave everyone basically a 5-second head start. And I was lucky enough that, because starting from last, there was no one behind me to hit, so it was all good.
Fair enough. Anyway, Scott, thanks for popping up and letting us know how race control went. What we'll do now is we'll bring some of the other drivers up.
Alright guys, thanks for a wonderful broadcast, as you always do. And, best of luck, and next week, catch you then.
Yeah, no worries. Thanks, mate. Okay, Chris, we've got a few down here. Josh Bird and Lewis Kugley. We might bring Lewis up for a quick chat first. What do you think?
Yeah, sure, no worries.
Hi Lewis, welcome to RRTV's commentary box, and congratulations, 4th place tonight. It looked like you're having a race of a bit of ups and downs there. Earlier on in the race, it looked like you got pretty much mugged out there. How was it from your point of view?
Yeah, thanks, Bernie. Started off alright. Qualifying was good 4th, and then, yeah, as you said, there was I tried to make a move on 3rd, and I went from 3rd to pretty much 7th. So yeah, I got mugged in a lap, but that happens. It was good fun. It was only an impromptu thing to race tonight. First time in this car ever. I've only done like a session before since I've been on iRacing, which has been 3 years. So it's been good fun, and yeah, to finish 4th and qualify 4th is a good result.
Yeah, we were discussing your participation in this series earlier, and I must say I couldn't recall you actually in the Star Mazda. We've seen you, of course, as a real strong competitor in SEK. And so how did the Star Mazda compare to the GT3 last Sunday night around this track?
Well, it felt better because I had the right setup, or we didn't have an option really this one, but yeah. Weather was good for this. Traction was good. It was the thing I find different a lot with the BMW in this car is the braking, and I don't have a really good pedal set, so I find it difficult to get on the brakes pretty hard. But yeah, it's good fun. It's more of a momentum car too, so you got to keep your momentum up through the corners. But yeah, I enjoy both cars. I want to do a few more of these races on a Thursday night when time allows me to. So hopefully I'm around more often.
Yeah, that'd be fantastic. And Chris mentioned in the broadcast, this track's pretty much a rhythm track, and it looked like once you got out of rhythm or out of position, the other cars made your life pretty hard out there until you dropped back to 7th. So as far as a rhythm track goes, would you agree with that assessment?
Yep, this track's a rhythm track. It's also, the car too is a momentum car because it doesn't have a very torquey engine, so you've got to be on the you got to find that rhythm, and once you're in that rhythm, it's quite comfortable to lap around here. But as you said, as soon as you start dicing, you can lose that rhythm quite easily, and as you saw with me, you know, looking to attack third, and then you end up 7th the next lap, so you just got to regather yourself and get your head back into the game. And once I found that rhythm again, I thought my pace was alright. Didn't have enough for the front two. I think that the car behind was slowly catching me, but I was controlling it from there. But yeah, once I got back into the rhythm, I agree with Chris's statement that this track and this car generally is a rhythm car and track combination.
Yeah, and just on that, it's, when I say rhythm, it's, you know, there's a lot of long straights on the track, and there's a lot of tight, you know, S-bends or chicanes that are on the track. So part of that rhythm is actually getting a good drive out of those tight turns and having a good top speed at the end of that straight, because if you get that exit of those slow corners wrong, it sacrifices all that top speed you had at the end of that long straight, and all it means is the car behind you is going to get you.
Absolutely, that's what you saw with me. Because I couldn't get the required exit that I was intending to because of being offline, then you obviously compromise not only the corner that you're heading into, but you're compromising the next corner, and then once again you're out of position offline, and it's a snowball effect. So yeah, that's a very good statement that you made there, and that's something that these cars in particular you got to work on. You got to get these exits 100%, especially at tracks like this with these long straights and tight chicane style corners.
And again tonight, we had a real scorcher out there, 39 degrees on the track, and I think last Sunday night it was hot out there as well. How did the Star Mazda go on its tyres compared to the GT3 on Sunday night?
The tyres are better over this stint. I didn't take tyres. I didn't have any idea on whether the tyres would change with the fuel, so I was on the one set the whole time, and it was pretty consistent. So I was due 37s when I did the right lap throughout the run, which was good. Where, as you can see with the GT3 car, especially the BMW, it's probably good in the first 5 to 10 laps, and then you start to see that drop off, which is quite difficult to control, especially at the end of the stint. The last 10 to 15 minutes is more hold on and hopefully make that our pit window in the Enduros or the end of the race in the sprint race. So yeah, the Star Mazda holds its tyres a lot better than the GT3 cars.
Yeah, I guess I'd expect that. They're probably lighter, and you've got wider tyres there. But before we let you go, I'll just see if Chris has any questions he'd like to ask you.
No, I don't have any questions. I just want to congratulate you, Lewis, on basically qualifying 4th on the grid and finishing 4th on the grid after getting mugged, as Bernie said. So, will we see you next week?
Hopefully, depending on my schedule. Yeah, I'll see. The next couple of weekends for me are going to be hot and cold. I've got GT Asia and obviously SEK, and then our team starts moving into some of the European Championships, which is like Spirit of VLN and some of the other ones when GAT starts back up again. So yeah, if I've got the time, I know tonight was just more of an impromptu thing, but I enjoy the cars and the same competitors are there. So yeah, hopefully I can come back next week and put on another decent showing.
That's good to hear. Just before we let you go, is there anyone you want to give a quick shout out to?
The boys in the team, obviously GP Racing, AJ, our sponsor, and also I always forget this person, but I think that he deserves an honourable mention every time we come up into the broadcasting booth for us. So that's John King, our team manager, does an awesome job, puts a lot of time and effort in getting our team organised and functioning. So, and obviously getting the sponsor on board. So a big thanks to him for everything, and to you guys, obviously, RRTV. I always say it every week, it's a great broadcast to rewatch. And finally to Smack, the guys organising that. Great series, one of the cleanest races I've ever been in, and yeah, I really thoroughly enjoyed it, and hopefully I'll be back more often.
Fantastic. Well, thanks for popping in, Lewis, and I guess we'll see you on Sunday night in the SEK GT3 series.
Yep, I'll see you there.
Okay, we might bring Josh Burton up. Chris, did you want to have a chat with him?
Yeah, sure. G'day, Josh, and welcome to RRTV's commentary box. Started off in 17th position on the grid on qualifying. Probably not your best qualifying session, but you managed to pull it home in 10th. You've got to be pleased with that.
Yeah, absolutely. It wasn't best qualifying, and to be honest, probably didn't really have the pace for a top 10, but I just kept it off the walls and people crashing around me, so I made up 7 spots, which wasn't too bad. Bit of an interesting start. The car in front of me didn't go anywhere, so I was a little bit out of going, but yeah, it worked out alright.
And we saw your teammate Josh Anderson. He managed to pull out 5th position. You guys are teammates, yeah?
Yeah, he's pretty quick. He's done a good job.
Yeah, he's definitely had a couple of strong results recently, and I wouldn't have expected Josh to have outraced you. So, are you looking to get a bit of pace back? I mean, we know last year we saw last season you were one of the front runners, and is it just time in the car, or is there not sort of how do you say it? Are you losing a bit of pace for some reason? Like what would you explain your lack of pace recently?
Yeah, probably more time in the car. Like this week before practice, before qualifying, I should say, I only done about 15 laps practice, so definitely didn't help. Whereas Bathurst, I finished 3rd, I think it was, and I'd done probably 50 laps practice. So that definitely helps doing practice. Yeah, just need to find more time, I think, to push a few more laps out.
Yeah, well, no pressure at all, but I'd like to see you back up the top, mate.
I'll have to give it a try.
Bernie, is there anything you want to ask Josh?
Yeah, we're just having a look at the race here, Josh, and it looks like you were suffering from a fair bit of internet blinking from, I guess, the broadcaster's point of view. How was it from your point of view out there?
For me, I actually didn't even notice it. I got told it probably about 5 laps into the race, but yeah, like I said, for me, I didn't notice it. So yeah, when I was racing, there was nothing really I could do about it, but I'll have to fix it for next time. Reset my modem and it should be alright.
Yeah, I was just wondering if it actually affected you, but it sounds like it didn't, which is a good thing. Before we let you go, would you like to give a shout out to your sponsors tonight?
Yeah, absolutely. Sim Racing Magazine, JFF Racing, the guys for putting on the Smack series, and you for doing the broadcast, man.
Yeah, and for the folks out there, if you're into your sim racing, go and pick yourself up a copy of Sim Racer magazine. It's the best and only magazine out there for sim racing, so definitely support those blokes.
Just before we let you go, Josh, I do have another question. I noticed that you did an early pit stop around lap 3, if I recall correctly. Was that sort of to try and gap a couple of people, get a bit of free air, fresh air, and not battle with anyone?
Yeah, pretty much. It was in a big battle pack there, and I was kind of getting a little bit held up by one of the cars, a couple of cars in front. So I thought, pit early, and yeah, it worked out alright. I think we gained a few positions in the pit stop, so yeah, it worked out alright.
Yeah, the only reason why I asked is because I wasn't too sure on the pit window. I wasn't too sure, how much fuel you needed to put in for the race, and if there was any cap on the actual fuel tank itself. So I wasn't sure if lap 3 or whatever was ideal for you. I was thinking about it during the race, and I kept thinking in the back of my head that you might have had to do a second pit stop just to refill it again. So obviously it worked out, and yeah, all the best for the next race.
Yeah, cheers, mate. Yeah, even though it's only 11 radius to start with, the fuel tank's not actually capped, so you can pit the end of lap 1 if you need to, so it works out alright if you avoid a crash.
Fantastic. Well, thanks for popping in, Josh, and we'll catch up with you next Thursday night.
Awesome. Cheers, guys.
Okay, Chris, we've got Craig Jones and Trent Thomas down there. I think they're teammates, aren't they?
Yes, we might bring them both up.
Hi, Craig and Trent. Welcome to RRTV's commentary box. Congratulations, Trent, on 8th, and Craig, it looks like you finished in 9th. So how did the race go from your point of view? We'll start with you, Trent.
Thanks, Bernie. Thanks for having me up here. I had a blinder of a start, but couldn't do anything with it. Just cars everywhere, obviously, so I sort of had to back out of some moves. And then I felt I got stuck behind Josh. I can't remember his last name, to be honest. I got stuck behind him for a few laps. He was very hard to get past. There's some good racing with him, but I just couldn't make a move stick. I did get by a couple of times, but just couldn't make it stick. So I thought I'd avoid that by getting in the pits. Probably stopped a bit too long, and came out about 3 seconds or so behind him because he pitted the next lap. And then sort of spent the next few laps working with Dylan Francis behind me to try and catch up to him. Caught up to him, and again I just could not make the move stick past him. And then it sort of turned into a big, I think there was about 5 of us all at once. Tapped the wall on the left hand side, which damaged my front left suspension at one point. I just couldn't get the power down out of the hairpin, and it was like it was lifting the rear right wheel or something. It just kept getting a lot of wheel spin, which sort of stopped my run up straight for any possibility of moves. Had a few off tracks, got to slow down on that, and at the end of that lap there was a crash, I think, at the Wall of Champions there. So a sort of good thing that I went off track there a few times and lost that ground, because it put me out of harm's way, so to speak, and we ended up coming through for a pretty good result. 3 team cars all in a row too, which is pretty good.
Yeah, it was definitely lucky you missed that accident on the Wall of Champions there, but it looked like when you had those 2 off tracks that you just lost your rhythm there slightly, or were you actually put off by the car in front of you that caused the first off track?
Yeah, I just lost my rhythm. I just outbraked myself on both. It's just trying to fight for position, basically, and it's just my own mistake. Probably a forced error, you could probably say, but just outbrake myself, and rather than trying to make the corner and possibly doing car damage and hitting another car, I just decided to cut the track to avoid any sort of major incident.
Yeah, fair enough. And Chris, have you got any questions for Trent?
Not really a question, more of a observation. Trent, yourself, Josh Burden, and Dylan Shepherd, all pretty much top 3 championship winning potentials, especially from last season. And all 3 of you guys have come into this season with basically a tail between the legs. This just shows the strength of the competition, doesn't it?
Oh, definitely. Like, we've getting some really class guys racing in the series now, and it's so. I was fighting sort of for top 3s, like I said, last season, and this season I think I'm pretty happy if I get a top 10, to be honest.
And I suppose we should probably ask Craig. Craig, you finished, what was it, just behind Trent, or was it just in front of Trent? Just behind Trent. Oh, bugger. It didn't beat him again.
Almost, mate, almost.
How did your race go? What did you think of the race? And how'd you go?
Oh, cheers, mate. I actually had a good race. Really enjoyed it. And as Trent was saying, we got 3 cars home. I think it was 7th, 8th and 9th in the end. So yeah, it wasn't much battling to do in the last few laps unless it was going to take each other out. But no, it was a good race from my perspective. Hit the Wall of Champions a couple of times. But I don't think that makes me any closer as a champion. But we got through. They're pretty tough cars, these things, to be honest.
Well, you actually started in, I think it was 20th position, which is pretty much last in this field tonight. And to pull it home to get a top 10, not a bad result, really.
Yeah, well, pretty happy with that too, of course. I think we got a bit of luck. A couple of guys got caught up. Come out just in front of Josh Burden, I think, after his early stop. I was pretty happy with that too. So Yeah, I think a bit of luck and just didn't hit anyone really.
Sometimes that's all you need is not so much luck. You just need to keep it on the track, and you might make up a couple positions. So if anyone's out there who hasn't finished a race at all this season, maybe we just need to pull it back a bit and keep it on the track. You might actually get a couple of spots.
Yeah, certainly. I think that was the key. At the end of the race, I had a strange feeling that I hadn't had for a while, and it was that really. So yeah, really happy to get to the end and get some points for the team.
Bernie, is there anything you wanna add?
No, we're just watching the replay here, Craig, at the start of the race from your cockpit, and it looked like you were very busy there for the first couple of laps.
Yeah, it was a little bit hairy. I have a little bit of frame rate drop early in the races when you got so many cars around. So sometimes it's hard to judge things, and just adjusting to all the cars around me. Yeah, as I said to Chris, I was trying not to hit anyone. But yeah, once I got through those first few laps, I think it settled in pretty well.
Yeah, well, congratulations coming up from about 20th at the start all the way up to 9th. That was a fantastic drive, and a pity you couldn't go one better and beat your teammate.
I thought I'd do the team thing and not do anything silly. Yeah, maybe next race. I do enjoy Montreal though. So anyone else I would have been having a go, but I don't think I had the speed though, to be honest.
Yeah, you had to catch me first.
I knew you'd take the bait, Trent.
There was no team orders involved. We were racing each other, and yeah, it was good fun.
Yeah, I was just going to say fantastic. And from a organiser's point of view, we had 44, I think, tonight turn up. So that's pretty good. Strong showing again tonight.
Yeah, we were hoping for the single split. There's 44 pit stalls in Montreal. We had 45 cars join the server, so unfortunately I had to make two splits, so we missed a single split by just one car, which was unfortunate, but hopefully split 2 had a good race. I think split 1 went alright, so yeah, hopefully split 2 was the same.
Fantastic. And do you know where we're going next week for the Star Mazda Australian Championship?
Now you put me on the spot.
We're off to Okayama.
Oh yes, Okayama.
Fantastic. Well, that's going to be another fun track. So viewers, if you like Star Mazdas, tune in next Thursday night for Okayama. Alright guys, before we let you go, would you like to give a shout out to your sponsors?
Yeah, obviously Mazda Designs have been with us since the beginning, and Quick Beds. If you need to book any hotels for business or pleasure, we're involved in a grassroots program. If you use code 1564 when booking your accommodation on quickbeds.com, money goes towards our team to help keep running these events like SMAC and the Open SMAC series as well.
Fantastic. Well, thanks guys for coming up, and we'll catch up with you again next Thursday night.
Thanks a lot, Bernie. Thanks, Chris.
Yeah, cheers Bernie, cheers Chris. See you guys.
So Chris, before we wrap this up, it looks like we've got James Keane waiting to come up, and James finished second tonight.
Yeah, sure, let's bring him up.
Hi James, welcome to RRTV, and congratulations on your strong race tonight, especially coming in second.
Yeah, thanks Bernie, it was a great race. All the guys drove well. It was just brilliant.
Yeah, and it looked like you were really having a great battle there with Michael Schreier tonight.
Yeah, the battle with Michael was just awesome. He had me on my toes right throughout. A couple of little touch-ups we had, but that was just racing incidents. Neither of us could have avoided both of them, but
Yeah, we noticed one of the touch-ups you guys had earlier on, which Michael jumped into the pits fairly quickly, and I noticed you had a bit of front wing damage after that. Did that affect the handling of your car much?
I have a feeling it gave it a little bit more understeer, but nothing particular. particularly major. Didn't really affect the pace in a straight line or in the draft a whole lot, so I didn't really notice it.
Okay, and earlier on when you were behind your teammate Marcelo, what I guess you guys were speaking on team speak. Was there any race strategy there? I.e., were you going to just hold in behind him so you guys could try and get a gap, or were you racing for position at that point?
No, we were just working together. I was trying not to pass him, and because we knew that if we started trying to dice with each other, we were just going to start to slow down and the guys behind us would catch up. So I just tucked in behind him and allowed him to run his race, and I ran mine.
Fantastic. And from Evolution Racing Australia's point of view, you must be happy with the amount of guys coming into the team at the moment, and especially with Jason Black there, who had quite a good showing tonight.
Yeah, Jace had a really good drive tonight. I think he had an issue where he had to slow down and avoid a car that had spun in front of him, and he dropped back a few positions, but I think at one point he was at the highest position of third. He was doing really well.
Yeah, at this earlier on in the race, he was actually starting to catch up and start to put the pressure on Josh Rogers and Michael there. But you're right, unfortunately he had to avoid an incident at the Wall of Champions, but he did a fantastic job there and managed not to hit any of them, considering they were blocking the track. So, you know, when you see him, say congrats from us.
I will do.
Okay, Chris, have you got any questions for James?
No questions. Just want to again congratulate yourself on taking out second position, but just want to congratulate the team, ERA. You guys managed a 1-2 finish. We were mentioning in the broadcast a bit earlier, there could have been a possibility of an ERA podium lockout, but it wasn't to be. But to have a 1-2, got to be pleased with that.
Yeah, it's great. And the second split, we had a couple of drivers there do well as well. I didn't quite make it to the top split, but Brenton got second, and Greg Sharp ended up fifth, I think. And one of our other drivers, Kirsty, didn't quite make a lap, I don't think. I think an incident put her out early, so it was just a brilliant showing by us all, really. Everyone was driving superbly tonight.
It's really good to see everyone have a good race too. I know in our top split we had a bit of a moment there with Simone Jelly and Darren Vouch, but apart from that, it was a pretty good incident-free race. Really, it was just a lot of good hard racing and a couple of tyre rubbing and all sorts of stuff. So pretty good overall.
Yeah, it looked like it was a brilliant race right throughout the field. That's why I was saying that it was a brilliant showing by everyone. It was just fantastic.
Yeah, it certainly was. And before we let you go, James, would you like to give a shout out to your sponsors tonight?
Yeah, I'd like to thank Maverick Welding and Evolution Racing Australia. It's great support from those guys. Teamwork has definitely helped us. So.
Fantastic. Well, thanks a lot for popping in, James, and I guess we'll see you. When's the next one? The SEK is the next broadcast we'll probably see you racing in.
That's the plan, Bernie.
Fantastic. Well, I look forward to catching up with you then, mate.
Alright, thanks guys.
Alright, Chris, well, that pretty much wraps up our race tonight, but before we go, the usual question, do we have a driver of the night?
I knew you were going to ask me this. Look, as much as Marcelo pretty much drove the wheels off and walked away with the win, and as much as James and Michael Schreier had a good battle there for, pretty much the last half of the race, I'd like to put my hand up and say Josh Anderson. I think it was a good result from him. He qualified in 11th, managed to bring home in 5th position, and he actually got the fastest lap of the race. I think he needs definitely a mention.
Yeah, definitely. He set a time of a 1:37.068, which no one else betted. And you're right, 5th position there, and he was looking very racy tonight. So, I let you choose them, and I disagree. I think Josh should be our driver of the night. So well done, Josh Anderson, in the Sim Racer Star Mazda.
Yes, congratulations. I think it's well deserved.
Yeah, so that pretty much wraps it up for us tonight, folks. Congratulations to ERA for their 1-2. Marcelo Rivera winning tonight, followed by James Keane in second. And also congratulations to Michael Schreier for making the podium. As far as RRTV broadcasts go, if you liked this, definitely give us a like and let your friends know. We're nearly up to 300 subscribers, so it'd be great to get there in this week if we could. And if you think there's anything we can do to improve, just leave a friendly comment. But we will be back broadcasting the SEK GT3 Endurance Series this Sunday night, so definitely tune in for that. So anyway, Chris, thanks once again for joining me in the broadcast booth.
Oh, you're most welcome. Thank you for having me.
So on behalf of Chris, I'm Bernie, and you've been watching RRTV.